Hi all, want to make a Marvel Rivals ranked tier list for you guys. I just solo queued my way up to Diamond. It was a ton of fun, challenging at times for sure. But I wanted to make a tier list more focused on the average player base or people that are struggling at ELO Hell, bronze, silver, maybe just trying to get to gold, to get the Moon Knight skin for the end of the season, or even to get to Plat and Diamond. Plat is still like you're in the top 10 to 15% of players playing competitive in Marvel Rivals, so that's nothing to sneeze at. That's awesome. Diamond, I think you're in the top 5%, so still you're getting up in the higher elo. But I wanted to make this tier list because it seems like a lot of other tier lists are coming from a perspective of top Overwatch players, top Marvel Rival players, and yes, they're giving low elo tier lists, but they're not really like stuck there. They haven't had to really grind it out, or they're playing with other people. So this tier list is mainly for the the average Joes, the people that aren't that talented maybe at this game, but want to get better, want to get out of the elo, and you're just having fun, you want to push. So hopefully this helps you. I've played every single character in this game, with a little bit less than some others, but played every role to push and climb. It was really fun. I'm going to rank each one, tanks, healer or Vanguards, Duelists, and Strategists for you guys and let you know what I think is going to be great for you to get out of the ELO Hell, or again, if you're a beginner in the game. So let's start off with tanks. To start us off, I'm going to go with Venom. I think Venom for sure belongs in A tier. In these lower elo, I think he is one of the best tanks you can pick up. A lot of people, just brand new to the game, you're struggling. They don't really know what some characters do or anything like that. Venom he will punish. He can 100% punish. He can get in, get out. And he's not that hard to pick up and learn if you're looking to get better with a tank that can be really dominant, get in the back line, disrupt the healers, maybe even pick off someone. I think his weakest point right now is his ult. And I think that he is obviously very heavily reliant on his E, on his shield when he gets to lower health. But if you can learn to play around that, you can get some crazy good picks. People think they have you dead. You use your E, you can get a pick. And while his ult is weak, it can be a great engage for fights to weaken people back to half of their health. And you can even combo it with other ultimates really, really well, like with Namor, Star-Lord, any kind of duelist it would actually work really well with, and even other tanks. Because you get them down to such low health, it's easy to finish them off. You can even burst them through some ults like Luna's ult or Mantis's ult if you can time it correctly. But overall, he's just a really good tank to pick up. You got great mobility, great survivability. If you can learn to play around his E, he's got decent attack damage. It's not anything crazy, but it's good. He's got his slow. I think he's fantastic. Great tank to pick up if you're trying to push and learn for sure. Hulk, I'm probably gonna put in B tier. I think that Hulk, obviously when you get higher up, he is exceptional. Like we're seeing him in like these tournaments right now. A lot of people playing him really well. He's getting banned all the time in high elo. Just in diamond lobbies, he's getting banned all the time. He's a really good tank. I think he has a really high skill ceiling and to play it well. And I've noticed a big change in the plat to diamond range here, just that I've been playing in recently. There's a lot better Hulks now in my lobbies, and even I've been practicing with him because he does have he makes such a big impact with his group shield, getting in and out. His Hulk, when he goes into like ultimate Hulk form, I can't remember what it's called. But he can do some crazy damage with his clap. If you want to learn, if you plan on pushing up to higher elo to maybe Eternity, One Above All, maybe Grandmaster, anything like that, he's a great tank to learn and practice with. But in these lower elos, I think you can get punished a lot. I think if you don't know how to play him really well, it can be hard to succeed with him. And even to play with your team, I think you're really relying on having a pretty solid healer or strategist to help you out with that, or duelist to push in with you to help you in the back line. I think he can be a difficult one to pick up and push with. I'm not saying he's a bad tank. I think he's phenomenal. I just think in this lower elo, I don't think he's the one you should probably be focusing on if you're stuck. Next up is Groot. Man, Groot is so freaking good. I'm gonna put him in S tier, especially for this low elo. Guys, he is so simple to pick up. He does an incredible amount of damage. His walls are great for any convoy objective, both for defense and for attacking. And you're like, why is Groot good for attacking? He puts up freaking walls. He's got no mobility or anything like that. He puts up walls to help close those distances in those open lanes where you're getting picked apart by maybe a Hela or a Hawkeye, or people just sit in the back that your duelists aren't dealing with, or nobody's dealing with. Your walls help you push up the objective and take that space for your team. He's incredibly easy to learn. He's great in domination. I am telling you, this is one of the best tanks, and his ultimate If you guys want to just sync up an ultimate, first of all, you don't need to sync up with anybody else to really have an impact. If you ult right and you ult it at the right time, and maybe when there's no strategist ult up, you can get 2 or 3 picks. You can get the whole team if you want. I mean, he's absolutely phenomenal at that. But if you are talking to your team, or maybe you're playing with a friend or two, and coordinating that with another tank ult, or especially a duelist ult, it's fantastic. It is so good. It's just like Doctor Strategists, which I'll talk about in a sec. I think he's really fantastic. One of the best tanks you can pick up and learn if you want to push in the lower elo. I'm going to go Doctor Strange next. Again, he's also an S tier. I think he's right along with Groot, basically on the same level. He's not that hard to play. I think he has a high skill ceiling because there's some little things that you can do, like his cancel reload off of his attack, your shield weaving, which is phenomenal. But the reason why he's so good is his shield. His shield is so... It absorbs so much damage. His teleport, if you can use it right to get on site, to help your people to get back. Maybe if they died, your duelist gets picked off, a strategist gets picked off really early in the fight. You can pop a portal maybe in a safe location and have them come right back into the fight. So it's still a 6v6, not a 5v6, And I think that's super impactful. But his ult is another big reason why he is so phenomenal. Just like with Groot, it works in tandem with so many different ults. It can make or break a fight, a point. He's great for attacking. He's great for defending. If you want to learn 2 tanks to push out of this rank right now, I'm dead serious. Just learn these 2. You just wanted 2 tanks just to have if someone picks one or doesn't pick the other. These are the 2 to pick, and they're also fantastic solo tanks. So, and I know you guys are going to run in that a lot because I did. There's so many times that I had a solo tank because nobody wanted to pick tank. Everyone wants to be duelist or, maybe sometimes strategist, although that's not very popular either. But there's so many times where I was just me as a tank, and these 2 crushed it 100%. Groot is a little bit more reliant, I think, on healing and stuff like that, but he's still fantastic. I think both of these tanks are phenomenal. Next up, I'm gonna go Cap. I'm gonna put Cap probably in high B, but maybe even A. I think that actually Cap has a pretty high skill ceiling. I think he obviously has a lot of abilities, a lot of things that you can play around. He's great for getting in, getting out. His shield, I wish it didn't have a cooldown. It has a cooldown every time you press it, let it go. I have like a 2-second cooldown. It's gotten me killed a few times. His leap is a little harder to execute. If you use some of your mobility too early on, and getting out can be difficult. If you're not paying attention to where your teammates are, where the enemy is, who's alive, who's not alive, he can be really punishing to play. I do think that you can push with him actually pretty decently well, and maybe not even have to be that good at him necessarily, but he's just not nearly as strong as this dive tank for Venom or these 2 here, especially if you're solo tanking. I don't think he's a great solo tank, but I think he is a good tank, and if you want to learn him and practice with him, go ahead, but I think he's going to be much harder to climb these lower elos for sure, and he just doesn't do enough damage. 100% just doesn't do enough damage. Let's go Penny next. Penny, I think, is actually an A tier. Higher up, I think she falls off. I think there's certain points and certain objectives or chokes that are fantastic for her, but in lower elo, a lot of people don't even know what she does. They don't know how to use her. I have a buddy that's been learning Penny a ton, loves her. He's maining her now. His mind plays and just mind plays in general on her. If you set up on choke points or sneaky little plays, or when you're coming out of spawn, I know we've all been there. If you've been playing the game, you run out of spawn, you die immediately, and it was because of Penny's mind. She set up some stupid freaking nest thing with mines, and you're dead. There's so many cheeky things you can do with her. If you learn how to play her, especially this elo, you can 100% push up to higher elo, definitely to plat, gold plat if you get good with her. She's pretty good on most points. She's exceptional on a couple specific maps and points. She's pretty good at domination, especially if you can get set up. If you can get your setup with her, she's great. And if you can put your nest in a secure location where the team isn't just farming them down, getting them down really quick, it's super helpful. But she's great, guys. 100% recommend picking her up. Both of these, I think, are right around with each other. I prefer Venom over Penny just because I think Venom is more versatile, and I enjoy his playstyle more, getting in and out with his mobility. But Penny is a great option to pick up too. All right, well, let's see. Last but not least, I think we've got Thor. Thor, I think, is phenomenal. I'm actually going to put him. He's either in hot. No, I'm putting him in S tier. I think that I've carried more games with Thor. Oh, I've got Magneto too. I've carried more games with Thor than probably any other tank. I think that he is exceptional. I don't think he's the best solo tank. And if you have a Cap, I think he's great because he actually makes Cap do some more damage, which is just fantastic with his C, his team up ability. But he just does such good damage, guys. His shift getting in and out and pulling actually the enemies, like you can grab a tank from the side and pull him back into your backline. You can kill him. Oh my gosh. He can turn fights. His ultimate's pretty weak, but you can time it pretty well if you're flying up to the sky, time it back when people are low. There's no strategist ults up. You can just do it to get a pick. He's phenomenal. But where he's really good is just his Thor force. When he's throwing lightning at everyone, he does so much damage. He packs damage. You can turn fights. I think he's one of the best tanks to pick up if you have another tank or maybe your duelists are really struggling. I can't tell you how many times I've even solo tanked. My duelists are not playing well, kind of ass, and I've got to pick it up. This is who I pick a lot of the time. He's not, I think he's better on attack than defense for Convoy, but really good on domination. Really good for attacking, and if you can play around your team and learn more about him and practice with him, he's phenomenal to push. I think he belongs in S tier for sure, the Zelo. Magneto, I'm probably going to put in A. I think he's a good tank. I think he's solid. I think Doctor Strange is just a better version of him. I think his shields are great. If you can coordinate with people like going in, maybe with Wanda going in with your shield, she can actually use her ult and not die. His ult actually absorbs a lot of projectile like ults or damage or anything like that. That can be really good if you can time it well. I think he has a pretty high skill ceiling to get better with. I think he gets better the higher elo you go. But I think Doctor Strange is just a better version of him, if I'm being honest. I think he's really good. I think you can push with him. I just don't think he's as strong as these three tanks right here, and maybe even these two in specific situations. Like if you're gonna play a shield tank, I would just play Doctor Strange over Magneto. All right, that's it for tanks. Let's move on to strategists. For the lower elo here, I think Adam Warlock probably belongs in A. I think he has a pretty high skill ceiling. I think he doesn't have the highest healing output, but he has some crazy good saves with his chain heal and binding souls. But what's really good is he can just, his ultimate to get people back in the fight, even if they're at low health. It is so helpful, especially when you're low elo. There's some people just dying when they shouldn't be dying or not paying attention to who's around them, especially, oh my gosh, in silver and gold and bronze, when people are, new. And that's okay if that's you. It's been me at times, but he's just really good. His ult's fantastic to bring people back. Really fun to play. I just don't think he's like a main healer type support that you want, strategist that you want for that role. I think he's great for kind of off healing or making up for when people make mistakes, basically. I think he's fun, and he does a pretty good damage. You can actually one-shot a lot of like duelists if you time your attacks well. So he's really good. Jeff, I actually think is pretty damn strong. I want to say, I would say he's okay, this is kind of some people might be upset, but I think Jeff is actually really strong. He can make such a huge impact with his ultimate and eating people, throwing them off the map, and himself. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have seen that or done it. It's really, really good. It's so powerful, this lower elo. It's actually crazy. I think he falls off for sure in comparison to a lot of other healers later on. But early on, dude, you can get so many picks. You want to just, if you're playing strategists or nobody's playing strategists, you just need to pick up a healer. Jeff. He's got great healing. His bubbles give great mobility for people. You get a heal for yourself. His mobility is fantastic with going up on walls. You can wall climb with the shift. He's just really good for getting in and out. His ultimate is super impactful almost all of the time. You can even save your teammates, or what if you're on convoy and you have an ultimate up and you're not near an edge, you can't get any kills, but you have 2 or 3 enemies on the point. Just eat them and take them off point. It's in overtime and the game's over. You just took them off point and then you just keep them in there. It's insane. I've won multiple rounds like that. It's actually crazy. He does a pretty good amount of healing. Again, I think he falls off later as you get in a higher Q, but he's a fun character to learn. He's a blast. There's nothing really super weak about him. I just think there's nothing insanely exceptional about him. But these lower elos, he's a crazy impactful. Okay, Loki. Loki is so freaking good and has an incredibly high skill ceiling. His healing can be insane. If you learn how to play his duplicates, his clones really well, along with your shift heal and position those correctly, and using your ultimate, oh my gosh, I swear he can be so impactful. I'm actually going to put him above these two. No, I can't. I think he's just harder to learn. If you can learn him, I think he's better than both of these healers right here. And I think you're probably seeing that in the tournaments as well. He's exceptional at certain maps, but he's got great damage, great healing. If you're paying attention, he always has a heal. It can be pretty good for main healing as well, for strategists. But his ultimate is so crazy. Not many people are using his ultimate correctly. You can steal anyone's ult. You can become a person for, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. It's crazy good. You can double Hela ult. You can double Star-Lord ult. You can Double Luna ult. I mean, it's so impactful. It can turn fights. It can help win. You can pick up the slack for duelists. You can pick up the slack for tanks. He is he's phenomenal. But I think he has a high skill ceiling, and that's why I'm putting him in A and not in S. If you can learn to play him well, I think he's S for sure. Luna's going S. I think she can be a little harder to play overall, but between her ice, her CC, her healing is fantastic. Her Luna ult, her ultimate is crazy. It is so exceptional. It will make or break fights. And when you get to higher elo, when you start getting to, gold, platinum, diamond, and higher, you're really going to want to learn to read what ults are up on the enemy team and save your ult for an impactful ult that they're going to have, whether that's a Hela ult or any Psylocke ult, anybody ult that is impactful like that, she can shut that shit down. And a lot of ults won't actually kill her out of her ult. I mean, besides, Iron Man and a couple others, but she's really freaking good. She's got great mobility. She's an exceptional healer. 100% pick her up if you want to push and you want to do decent damage, have an impact on your team, and be the difference maker between your team making a point or not. She's definitely the one to pick up. Next up, we'll go Mantis. I'm also going to put Mantis in S. I think they're just phenomenal. This is probably not going to change for high elo either. I think Luna's ultimate is more impactful than Mantis's, but Mantis just does really good damage. She's got great healing. Both of these healers are fantastic melee or main healers. Like if you're the only healer too, you can solo heal games and win. I've done it multiple times. They're so good at it. They've got great mobility. They both have CC with the sleep or the sedate, and then with the freeze, they can actually shut down people's ults part way. It's phenomenal. They're both great. 100% pick those two up. If you're struggling to get out of elo or no one's picking strategists, play one of these two, practice with them, get better, and you'll thank me later. I'm not kidding. They're actually insane. Okay, next up, let's go Rocket. Honestly, I really don't think there's any weak healers here. I would say probably... I should put Loki over here just because I think he has a higher skill ceiling. But again, I think he's S if you know how to play him well and play with your team. Rocket, I think, is probably the top of A tier, or maybe along with Cloak and Dagger. I'll put them both here. So Rocket first. Rocket's just really good. Great main healer. Great. He does good damage. Fantastic damage. His ultimate, okay. Can't tell you how many times people are popping their ultimate in the elo and you're playing strategists and your team isn't alive. No one's there. Half of them are dead. Nothing's going on. You're popping your ultimate when people don't have their cooldowns. People aren't ready for it. It's great to sync up with people. It does so much damage. You buff your team with damage. It's so good, guys. Being able to use his ultimate in an impactful time to turn a fight is, if you learn how to do that, you're going to push with him. And you just have to right click to heal. Throw your balls that sounds weird, but throw them everywhere. It does so much healing. You can have such an impact with him. He's got really good mobility, getting in, getting out. His ultimate has a ton of impact. He's just a phenomenal healer. Cloak and Dagger, I think he has a higher skill ceiling than a lot of other healers here. Being able to shift between Dagger and Cloak is super good. And if you can learn how to do it well, you can climb for sure like crazy. You've got great healing. You've got decent amount. The blind is fantastic. Not the best mobility-wise, but great survivability. Again, great for main healing. I think he has a little bit of a higher skill ceiling, but I wouldn't put them on the same level as Mantis or Luna, but I would put them right here with Rocket for sure, at least in my experience in lower elos. I think, again, if you're picking up two healers or want to learn two different ones, these are the two ones to do it, and it's going to be easy to climb, but also these two are a great option for sure. I think that's it for Strategists, and I think those are right on the money. I think these two are really close together. I think you've got Jeff kind of on his own here, and then Adam and Loki. Loki being maybe the weakest, in terms of this tier list of the lower elo, but as you're pushing higher and you're getting better with him, he is very impactful, and I think he can be S tier. Again, I just think it just matters how well you play him, which again, it works that way for most characters. So probably what you've all been waiting for, Duelists. Okay, so Iron Fist. Let's just start off right off the bat. Iron Fist, I think, is B. I think in bronze and silver and part of gold, you can actually just smash. You can just roll through people. People have no idea how to deal with him. They're not punishing when they should. I think you can easily get the gold, and you don't have to be that good at him or good at the game. Pressing your right click for your block, going in, diving in the back line, killing the strategists over and over again, killing people off their spawn, going for the weaker targets, and just plowing into them. His ultimate is pretty impactful. He's got fantastic mobility. He's really good at lower elo, but I swear, as soon as you start hitting the higher gold, platinum, diamond, he's he's not good. He's bad. Like, he falls off so hard. I would put him in A if we were just doing this, like, you know, bronze to gold. But since I'm including plat and diamond or getting up that range, I think he belongs in B. Again, lower elo, really impactful, really fun. If you're stuck in bronze or silver, just play him if you're playing duelist. And I guarantee you'll probably get to gold. And then I think he's going to fall off, and I think you're going to probably want to pick somebody else. I think you could still have an impact. I think it's just going to be much, much harder than it would be with some other duelists on here. Iron Man. Iron Man 100% belongs in A tier. I think he can even be better, obviously, when you get into higher elo and diamond when you have a ban, because a lot of people are banning Hela and Hawkeye, which I'll talk about in a sec. And Iron Man can be punished by those two quite a bit, but a lot of people can't hit their shots in the lower elo for sure. So you sitting up in the sky next to buildings or popping in and out, peppering people. I mean, he's just so freaking good. Like, I'm going to put him like top of A. He's fantastic. You can get your ult back constantly. He's got fantastic damage. He's got great mobility. He can focus the back line if he needs to. He can focus the front line in tanks. He's so consistent, it's crazy. And again, if you can learn how to play some cheeky angles and pop your ultimate at a great time to shut down, you can kill people. You can kill Luna in her ult, people in their ult. You can get a multi-kill. You can stop pushes by yourself. You can carry games 100% with Iron Man, without a doubt. I think the reason why he's not S tier is probably because a couple other picks here, I think, could just shut him down pretty easily. If you don't know how to play him well or play the right angles. But I think he's, again, very, very strong. Magic. Okay, Magic is so much fun. I think she's pretty damn impactful. Probably somewhere here in the middle of A tier. And again, these aren't related necessarily to tanks and healers, but probably middle of A tier if I was going to put her somewhere. I think she's exceptionally well. If you're really good with her, you can have such an impact. You can carry games. I've seen it. I've been against it. I've done it a few times. I'm not the best Magic player by any means, but she's just so impactful if you can learn how to get in and get out. If you learn her a couple one-shot combos with her, you can just kill people right off the bat. She is incredible. She's a ton of fun, but she can get punished if you don't know how to play her well. She gets punished if you're not playing with your team as well, or if your tanks don't know what they're doing, if they're passive as heck. If your tanks are passive, she's hard to make an impact with unless you really know how to play her well, or if the enemy team is making a bunch of mistakes, but she does a lot of damage. Her ultimate isn't quite as impactful as some other ultimates from Duelists, but still really good. And I think she's a decent person to learn and climb with. And again, she's very viable in higher elo if you play her well. So I think she belongs in mid A tier, but I would not say she's S by any means. Okay, I'm gonna put Moon Knight in S tier. Only because this is like a lower elo tier list. He is so easy to farm damage, and nobody kills the Ankh to save their life, bro. Like, except when I'm playing him, it seems like. But like on my team, nobody shoots the Ankh, and your team will just melt and die. He farms ults like crazy. His ult sure isn't a lot of damage, or not a lot. It does a ton of damage, but like doesn't have a big area of effect. Sometimes it feels like it sucks, but if you combo it with, Doctor Strange, like I was talking about, or Groot, or if you just do it at the right time, right choke point, you can just kill one or two, kill it, even if you just get one pick, you just turned a 6v6 into a 5v6, right? And he's just so good. He's got great damage, got good mobility. You can get in and out. You can play crazy good chokes. He's just so good for lower elo. It's insane. I think he's even good in a plat and diamond if you can play him well. I think he's exceptional. I think he's really, really good. I think there's some other duelists that are better than him, but right now, if you're a beginner trying to learn and stuff like that and trying to push, Moon Knight's a great option. Namor, oh my gosh, Namor top of A tier with Iron Man. Namor is really good. He's not that hard to pick up and learn at all. He's fantastic for defense. If they've got any dive characters like Spider-Man, Black Panther, a Psylocke, will shut that shit down. I'm sure you guys are seeing, if you guys are watching the tournaments right now, for Europe, NA, anything like that, you're seeing Namor being picked when he's countering a lot of people. He's great for counter picking, great for defense. He's good for domination. And he's decent on attack. It's probably his weakest point, but he's still really good. If you can play him well, he's really, really good. His squid turrets are fantastic. His ultimate is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's as good as Moon Knight, but it's very similar with like range of effect or area of effect and damage, but the knockdown's really good. He can really turn fights, and I think you can carry games with him more, just like you can with these other two. I think Iron Man is better overall, just because of his mobility, and his ultimate, I think, is fantastic. And then Moon Knight, I just think it's easier to do stuff. But Namor is a great pick, and I think it's definitely worth getting better at. Okay, I'm gonna put Black Panther. Okay, I'm going to put him in B. He's definitely better than Iron Fist. Like, he's probably top of B. Black Panther is an exceptional... Oh, man, I'm keeping... Nah. No, I lied. I'm putting him in A. He's very good. Higher elo you get, he gets more impactful, especially if you know how to play him well, or if you're versing one that's if you verse the Black Panther that's good, you're gonna die. Probably everyone's gonna die. He's so good about getting in and out. If you can learn to do your shifts and get them back, and you can one-shot combo somebody in within a second or 2 seconds, they're dead. You can just stagger the team so well. His ultimate is pretty damn good. If you're really good with this character, he's 100%. I think he can be S tier. I think he's one of the best backline characters in the game, especially when people are starting to get banned later on. But again, I think he's really hard to pick up. I think he's super punishing for a majority of what people are picking in these lower elos. And I think if you don't really know how to play him well, you're just going to get cooked. 100% you're going to get cooked. You're going to get picked off. You're not going to make an impact for your team. You're going to be dead half the game. And it's hard to run into that. Again, if you're good, he's a great duelist to learn if you're looking to push higher elo in the future. And if you're good with him now, you can climb 100% because people aren't paying your attention to the backline. You can go dive strategists and just kill him, and nobody's paying attention. Their duelists aren't helping to kill you. Like, you can punch the shit out of him, but you have to know how to play him well. So I'll put him in A tier. I think he's really good. Psylocke, S tier. She's probably a majority of what I played duelist wise. She is the highest duelist I've played for sure to push in lower tiers. She can carry games 100%. Her ultimate is crazy good, especially if you can bait out Luna's ult, Mantis's ult. You can bait out Strategist's ult so that they waste them, and then your team can just roll over them afterwards. Or you can time it to where they don't have an ult, and you just get a free kill or 2, maybe 3. She has some combos that I think are higher skill ceiling. I think getting in and out, using her invis the correct times, when to go to backline, when to help and stay with your team in team fight is important and good to learn. But I think she's so good. She's right there with Moon Knight, in my opinion. You can 1000% climb to diamond with her. If you're relatively decent in the game, you get good with her and you know when to play with your team and when not to. She has incredibly high impact, very fun to play. I think she's exceptional. One of the best duelists you can play in this game when you're pushing. And I think she stays on. She stays good even when you're pushing the high elo from everything I've experienced. Scarlet Witch, I'm going to put in B. She's definitely better than Iron Fist in my opinion. Her ult is just too long and she's too vulnerable unless you're playing with the Magneto or you know how to play around your ult in a good way. I think that she does great damage in a lower elo. Like the lower you go, she's better. She just gets better. People aren't paying attention to ult, not seeing their screen, you know. She can just mess up the backline. She's got a good in and out. Her ultimate's not as good as some other characters, and you can kill her. She's pretty vulnerable during her ult. I think she gets punished by a lot of these duelists, and you can just murder her pretty easily unless you know how to play her well. And I think she just doesn't have quite the impact to some of these other duelists, but I think she's good at lower elo. The lower you are, so if you're in bronze and silver, you can definitely push the gold with her. And maybe even plat, but I think she's gonna fall off pretty hard unless you really know what you're doing. Spider-Man is so freaking good, guys. Like, Spider-Man is, I'm actually gonna put Black Panther for the same exact reasons. Great mobility. He can punish the backline. If they're not paying attention, you can literally turn games. You can carry games if you know how to play him well. But he is insanely hard to play. He is probably, in my experience, from every character I play in the game, he's the hardest one to play. I think he has so many combos, so many things you can do. I suggest checking out Necros if you don't know who that is. He's fantastic. Probably one of the best Spider-Mans, if not the best Spider-Man in the entire game. You saw him play him in the tournament. He's phenomenal, and watching him play is it's like watching magic. It's so, you're like, oh my god, I want to do that, and then you try it and it's like, holy shit, I can't do that. He's put like probably 100-200 hours into Spider-Man. He's so gross at the game, but that's the kind of level that you need to do to have a really good impact. I think that I'm actually going to put him in high B. I think he's harder to play than Black Panther. I think he's in and out, but a lot of time you're just wasting time, which I think is really good, and you can really waste a lot of people's time in the backline just looking for you. But if you're good with him, you can just go in the backline and kill strategists straight up. You just murder them really fast, really get in and out. You get off spawn really quick if you die. I just think if you're not good with him, you're just going to be not having much of an impact, hardly doing any damage, dying a lot. It's just going to be hard. I think he belongs in B, maybe even lower. Squirrel Girl, I'm going to put in B as well. I think her ultimate is terrible. I think her ultimate is so bad. It's absolutely terrible. But she's kind of like Junkrat if you played Overwatch. She does a great damage. Really solid pick overall. I just think there's so many other people I'd rather have than her at the moment. I think that she can be good and have an impact. She's really easy to pick up, but I don't think she's anywhere close to, Magic, Iron Man, Namor, even Black Panther. Definitely not up here. I would say she's right around this level. I say Scarlet Witch is better than her. Spider-Man is better than both of these for sure. I'm actually probably going to put down here in this lower elo. I don't think she's bad. I don't think she's hard to pick up. I think you can probably push to gold plat with her. I've probably played less of her than other characters, so any Squirrel Girl mains out there or anything like that, disagree with me, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. But so far, I'd probably put her in B. I think that's a fair pick for her. Star-Lord is fantastic. I'm going to put like towards like probably like higher A. He's just so good. He's so freaking good. His ult is free, and he can farm it really quick. You can get multiple picks in the backline. If you time it when the supports don't have ults, you just kill multiple people. It's free to, it's not hard to aim with him. He's got great in and out mobility, constant pressure. He's just so good. There's like not a lot of weaknesses, I think, to him, unless your positioning is just god awful or no one's paying attention. He's a great character to pick up, and you're even seeing him in really high elo. He's a great person to climb with. Again, I think he's awesome. I don't think he's quite, I mean, I think he can be up here, but I think he's high, like high A tier probably. Really great character to pick up, probably along the same lines of these, like right here. So again, great character, not hard to play, easy to pick up. Got a high skill ceiling, but just a great pick to push with. Storm, I'm gonna put in B tier. I think she's decent. Probably right there with Squirrel Girl. I think she can be good. I think she just gonna need to change her kit. Something a little bit different. She can get punished like hella by hella. I just don't think she has an impact at the level of some of these other duelists. And her ultimate's fantastic. Her mobility for your team utility and stuff like that is really good. Her damage is okay, but I just think there needs to be some changes to her kit or something for her to have more of an impact. Don't think she belongs in these higher levels here. Let's go Black Widow. Black Widow goes to C, maybe even trash. I'm putting her in trash. I think she's very okay at certain chokes and getting picks. Don't think they need to do something different with her for sure. Almost every single duelist has a better impact with her, especially in lower elo. I've played with a couple really good Widows. I've tried Widow a couple times. Don't like her at all. She's not like Widowmaker in Overwatch. I think she can't one-shot like Hawkeye. She just needs either some buffs to her damage, different change in her toolkit, or something like that. She's not good. I think you can push with her. I just don't think that's a good option for you. Oh my gosh, Punisher is going like... No, I'm putting him in as... Okay, this is a take. So, his mobility is not great. Okay, all he has is zip lines. He's got smoke to maybe get up on some ledges to dodge some people. But really, if you get dove, you're probably dead. Okay, let's be honest. But his damage is so freaking good. You can shut down so many people with him. It's actually insane. He's great for dealing with Iron Man, anybody in the sky, Storm, backline, frontline. Backline's a little harder to kill, but he's got a shotgun for close range if people are pushing you. He's got an AR. His turret is fantastic for chokes and defense, especially for convoy. Domination is a little more difficult to set up, but you can. His ultimate's insane. You do so much damage. You just kill everything. You melt everything. You can melt a full Doctor Strange shield like in like a second. It's so good. He's broken. At these lower elos, fantastic. Push with him, 100%. It's free gold to plat, 100%. Like so good. Bucky's A. I think Bucky's really good. I think he's right there with Magic. I think he's really impactful, especially if you're not playing well. If you miss your shots, though, he's kind of punishing. His ultimate's really good, cutting off a part of their health so you can get some kills, push through a choke point. Fantastic. He's a really good character for pulling people in, punishing that, like dragging a tank into you or a strategist or anything like that, getting a pick like that. Really good, knocking people out of air with his E. He's really good. Solid pick overall. I think Punisher just easier to play and it does more for your team unless you're really good with Bucky at the lower elo, but solid character. I think he's super fun to play. Definitely good if you want to practice and learn with him. You can push higher to plat, diamond, and I've been playing more of him as I push through the ranks. And he does have a huge impact in the game. I just don't think he's as easy to play as these two, and doesn't do as much damage, especially in the higher elo. He can get punished a lot easier. His mobility isn't as good. Doesn't backline quite as well, I think, as Soldier or Moon Knight in terms of the lower elo and just free damage. So. Yeah, I'm put him mid A. Wolverine. Oh, Wolverine. You wonderful. Okay. He's either high B or low A for me. He's really good in high elo. I'm sure you guys are seeing that in tournaments right now too. Team captain is super fun to watch. Even Necros playing the most recent tournament in Europe was awesome. He makes such an impact. He's really good at getting tanks in the back line and shredding tanks. If you don't know how to play him though well, and you don't play off your passive and your positioning, you don't know his combos that well, his attack cancel, he's not great, and he's not really good against other duelists. I think he's really just a tank shredder. If you're good with him and you're playing against people that are in the tanks are the problem that you're versing on the enemy team, man, he's so good. He's so good. But I think that he just has a higher skill ceiling. I don't think he makes quite an impact unless you have a team to set up with or to play around. So I'm probably gonna say low A or high B. I would say is good. All right, Hawkeye, Hela, they're both going in S tier. We knew that. They're some of the best characters to play in the game. If you've got good aim, and Hawkeye, you just aim slide to the right of them, you kill him. Hopefully they'll fix that. It's bugged as heck. His ultimate's crazy good, so is hers. Easy to get picks. Fantastic for just holding choke points, attacking, having an impact on the team overall. People are going to be playing around you. They're scared of you 100%. And they're not getting banned until you get to Diamond. So you can abuse the shit out of them, play them. I think they're right along with Psylocke. I think they're so good. Fantastic to play. So that's kind of my tier list. A little longer than I wanted for you guys, for sure. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think it down below if you agree or disagree. But this is my overall. I think these is who you should probably be playing if you're trying to push up here with strategists, duelists, and tanks. And then down here, great options too. And I think these are on the weaker side, but if you know how to play them well, you can make a difference. Black Widow, maybe if you're insane. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one.